Hey everyone, this is Admiral Seabass. Welcome back to Operation Variation. This is turn 8 for Soviet Far East Command. All right, here's tech. Let's see what we can get here. Let's see if anyone can make more than one tech roll. We made one. So that would be tech 10, which seems to be a popular one, Chemical Warfare Doctrine. So that will mean one additional chem attack, and I've already got 2 chem markers down, so that gives me 4 total, 2 left here that I can't use this turn. I also get +1 on all facility strikes, but again, I'm not making any facility strikes this turn. So, all right, tech has been pretty awful for everyone this game. So let's bring you back with the purchases. Okay, here we go. So for purchases, we have, let me get my handy dandy pointer here. For 2 IPP, we're going to buy an additional diplomacy dice. We're going to try for Cambodia again. We're buying 2 early gen fighters for 6. We're now buying a destroyer, because if I got Caterpillar Drive, I was going to make that a nuclear attack sub. A destroyer for 4. We are buying a SAM, and with an advisor and next gen MBT, both of those will go in Alaska. These are also going in Alaska, is the plan. And 3 airborne. Those will go, I think, in Vladivostok. Do that. Everything's getting fumbly here. We're building 4 cruise missiles, one of which will be with an advisor in South Vietnam. 2 anti-ship missiles. We're repairing a amphibious assault ship in Vladivostok. With 6 battle stars and 2 IPP, we're finishing the minor shipyard in South Vietnam, and then also this is why I'm using the Vietnam build plate here. Also in Vietnam, South Vietnam, we're building a paramilitary, a mech, and a field artillery. All right, let's start combat movement. Okay, we are attacking into North Vietnam from South Vietnam with a mech, a field artillery. We are using chem here. Assume the Chinese will also use chem. We're bringing in the early gen fighter, the 2 attack bombers, and the fighter as well. And China's not going to scramble. They could scramble 2 early gen fighters from, what is it? Guangxi. You know what? They will do it. They will scramble 2 early gen fighters into there. So that could get dicey for the Soviets. Okay, so then over there, we're doing the roll for Cambodia, and I'll go ahead and add the purchase die there as well. And then let's continue with our combat movements. Right down here, there's a Pacific Command destroyer right here. He'll be attacked by the SSK from P-16. He will go 1, 2, 3. And the SSN from P-45, he will go 1, 2. And attack that destroyer there. Okay. Then, up here, again, maybe slightly risky attack, but these 2 destroyers are going to come out of port and attack these 2 U.S. SSNs there in P9. And then let's move you up here. Actually, let's get you a different angle. Okay, lots and lots of action up here. The Soviets are first going to do a massive surgical strike in Beijing. Soviets are really trying to take out some of those SP artillery there that represent China's battlefield nuclear capability. So with a SpySat, they're bringing in pretty much their entire air force from Vladivostok, other than the backfire. and they're going to go 1, 2, 3 into there, and that is 2 medium bombers, an attack bomber, an air superior fighter, an early gen fighter, and a fighter for escort. They're also going to fire, what is it, 3? 2 cruise missiles from the backfire and 1 from the major airbase, 1, 2, 3, also into that surgical strike. And I'm trying to figure out how I can get a 5th cruise missile into there. Or 4th. Sorry, I guess I won't be able to get the 4th in there. So 3 cruise missiles and 2 medium bombers and an attack bomber. And China will use AMD with that at 2 or less because they know what's going on here and they want to try to protect their cruise missiles or their SP artillery from cruise missile target selects. So they're going to try to take out the cruise missiles because any hits from the medium bombers or the attack bomber, China can take on whatever it wants in there. Then we're going to do a big assault into Inner Mongolia. And we're going to do that with... and Inner Mongolia is this card here, which, can you see that? I'm at the top of the table and have to go down here and look. Yeah, you can see that. So we're going to take the airborne from North Korea into this battle. And we're going to take the field artillery from Southern Manchuria into this battle. And we're going to fire the 2 SRBMs with Kim into this battle. Really need those to hit. And then we're going to take the early gen MBT from Central Manchuria 1-2 into this battle. We're going to take the mech from Uliassutai into this battle. And then we're going to take all 4 early gen MBTs from Western Xinjiang into this battle. We're going to take the Spag 1-2. It'll have to retire into that battle. And I think that's all we're taking in to that particular combat. Oh, we're going to shoot another cruise missile from Novosibirsk 1, 2, 3 into that battle as well. So I have one that I didn't shoot. So that cruise missile will be there. It'd be nice if he could get a hit too. And since we didn't bring any air units, the Spag will have to retire. I'll go ahead and put him on there like that. And China will also use Kim in this attack. And wait a minute, that's actually Soviets. So China will use Kim in that attack, and China will use Kim in the North Vietnam attack as well. And I think that's it for the combat. So let's start rolling dice. Okay, first up, will Laos... Sorry, why do I keep calling it Laos? Will Cambodia join the Soviet Far East Command? We sure hope so. Oh my gosh, I hate dice. Nope. That is really, really going to hurt things down here for the Soviets. They really needed that roll. I'm not going to say it's total desperation time, but you'll see in future turns that it's just going to be almost too much down here for the Soviets to handle. So, all right, let's do this attack that you can see right here. So we've got a Soviet SSN and an SSK against a PAC destroyer. So the SSK will lose first strike since it's the attacker's choice, meaning the SSN will get first strike. So we're looking for a 4 or less. That's a 5, that's a miss. So now we will roll the Soviet SSK at a 3, not first strike. That's a miss. The U.S. destroyer rolls at a 4 or less. That's also a miss. All right. So now we will roll the SSN and the SSK together in round 2 for the Soviets. The SSN will be the pink dice. Miss again. U.S. destroyer, of course, gets a hit. So we'll kill the SSK, and we'll go again as the Soviets. Maybe a bad decision, but Soviets will be in pink, U.S. will be in green. Nope, we go again. And they kill each other. Wow. All right. Well, Soviets lost 2 subs and took out 1 destroyer. So, not super great. Probably should have stopped, but oh well. This is a playtest. Let's take the North Vietnam battle to the battle board. Okay, here we go. So, first strike. I'll just say right now, if this first round goes really poorly for the Soviets, I'm going to retreat them. The Soviets will get the pink dice. This is field artillery attacking at 1 in mountains with Kim, so it's double dice. And the Chinese will get the purple dice, defending with Kim at 3 or less. So here we go. And everybody missed. All right. Then I guess we'll start from the top here in regular combat. We will roll the 2 Soviet attack bombers at a 7 or less. Oh, there's 2 hits. That is excellent. Excellent, excellent. For the Soviets, they needed some fortune here. There's 2 general hits. Now we'll roll the Soviet mech at a 2 in mountains. That's a miss. And these are really big rolls here. So these are air superiority rolls for the Soviets. The fighter at 6, the early gen fighter at 3. The early gen fighter will be in pink. Okay, so there's 1 air superiority hit. 1 air superiority hit. Okay, so casualties. So the air superiority hit has to be one of the 2 early gen fighters. That clears that. And now the China has to take 2 more casualties. So they'll definitely take the field artillery since it can't fire again. And it's already shot, so he's gone. And then they face a big choice. I think they'll take the early gen MBT because this guy shoots better. So I think they'll take him. Hope that was the right choice logically. Okay, so in return, 2 big rolls here for China. The 2 early gen fighters, air superiority at 3 or less. And they both miss, so that casualty is cleared. And then the early gen MBT at a 2. That's a miss. That's a 4. All right, so round 2, the Soviet field artillery will retire. And we'll start at the top again for the Soviets. The 2 attack bombers, we're only looking for 1 hit and got 2 more hits. So he was technically coming over here like that, and now he's down. These guys were also over here, but I'm not even going to roll for him now because the battle's over with overkill. So does China take a unit with them? They do. They do. So that's a 3. And I think that in the interest of defense, the Soviets will take the early gen fighter as their casualty. And that is cleared. And China, or the Soviets, have recaptured North Vietnam. Okay, this is the surgical strike into Beijing. So I just brought the 2 army cards over here. We've got the spy sat here. So China has the SAM, and they're going to use AMD with the SAM. So they're getting 3 dice. Their AMD current level is stage 2. So they're looking for 2s or less on any of these dice to shoot down 1 cruise missile each. And they did shoot 1 down. All right. So now we're into the Soviets. So they got the SpySat with the cruise missiles. So they're going to go ahead and roll the 2 cruise missiles. And they're looking for 5s or less on either one of these. They did get 1 5. So they will target select an SP artillery for China. So those 2 cruise missiles go away. Now, with SpySat, the attack bomber will roll at a 7 or less. Okay, so that's a 7. And then the medium bombers all get, I think, 3 carpet bombing dice each. Yep, they all get 3 carpet bombing dice each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have anything, any colored dice where I have 6 dice? Let me check. Well, it doesn't matter. It does matter, actually. All right. So the pink dice will be at 7. All the other dice will be at a 2. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the pink dice hit at a 2, and then I got 1, 2, 3 carpet bombing hits. So China has to take 4 more hits in Beijing. So that's awesome. So they will take 1, 2, 3, 4 of the early gen MBTs. Ouch. That's going to hurt China. And that is mission accomplished for the Soviets. So let's move on. Okay, now we have the battle for Inner Mongolia. A lot of first strike here. So the Soviets are going to get the field artillery double dice with 1s. The SRBMs double dice with 4s. So the SRBMs will be the pink dice. And the field artillery will be the green dice. The cruise missile will be the black dice. All right, so the SRBM got a hit with a 2, so that is chemical disruption. So the paramilitary, which have People's War defending at +1, which is a 3, will just be back down to +2, or defending at 2. And then actually they'll go down again next round after they lose the People's War marker. So that was a good hit. And did the cruise missile hit? I think it did. So they'll take the field artillery as a casualty for that. And now it gets to respond. So it gets 2 dice at 3. Miss, miss. So that is cleared. And we can remove the SRBMs and the cruise missile as well. All right. And then we're into regular combat. So we've got 5 early gen MBTs at 1. They all miss, not a surprise. And we've got the airborne and the mech at a 2. They both miss. All right, well, really needed more of those SRBMs to hit, but they didn't. So we might be pulling back from this one too. So now China gets, how many do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 at 2. Looking to do some damage here. Well, those all missed, and that hit. So that was a 2 outside, and I rolled a 2 inside also. We will take the... we'll take an early gen MBT. And then the field artillery retires, and now we have 1, 2, 3, and with People's War is only round 1, right? But Chem Disruption, I believe, is all rounds, so I believe those now go down to a 1 as well. Yep, just double checked, and chemical is all rounds of combat. So, I think that the Soviets will press the attack. So they have 4 dice at 1 and 2 dice at 2. So just barely have an advantage here over China, but I think they're going to press it in the interest of attrition. And there's 1 hit. Okay, and now China's going to roll 6 dice of its own, and China's looking for 1s. And they got 1 hit themselves. Okay, so Soviets will lose an early gen MBT. Let's do it again for the Soviets. So again, the light purple dice will be at 1s. Okay, they all missed. And now China is looking for 1s. Those all missed. Let's go again. Those all missed. Those all missed. I'm going to roll this out because this isn't the most exciting theater ever and let you know what happened. And somewhat surprisingly, what happened is China held with 4 paramilitary. I did retreat a couple of the Soviet units. The airborne had to stay in the combat. He ended up dying. So the Soviets have defended Inner Mongolia with 4 paramilitary and a SPAG. That'll earn them 2 battle stars. Sorry, I may have misspoke. The Chinese defended Inner Mongolia and earned 2 battle stars. Okay, the last combat we will do are the 2 Soviet destroyers in P9 taking on the 2 USSSNs. The USSSNs are going to go silent running if they survive. Okay, 1 hit from the Soviets. So 1 USSSN will fire back at a 4. The other one will go silent running. That was nice. Miss. All right, so 1 USSSN dies. The other one will go silent running. Okay, non-combat. The 2 MBTs from Vladivostok are going to go 1-2 into southern Manchuria. Joining their brethren there in southern Manchuria. Okay, that's that one. And then I'll show you some more. The 2 attack helicopters in South Korea are going to move 1, 2, 3 back into Vladivostok, which is off screen, and you can't really see that, which is okay. You know where Vladivostok is if you've been watching this game and paying attention. That does leave South Korea empty. The U.S. can retake it with an airborne. I'm okay with that. And I am going to leave these 2 units there in North Korea as possible deterrence against that or counterattack against that. What else? Oh, there is a early gen fighter in Ulaanbaatar. He is going to airlift or air redeploy down here to South Vietnam. Okay, and then let's swing around here. This light infantry, you know what? The guy from Aleutians, Soviets are hoping to kill a lot of stuff in defending Alaska, but they're under no illusions that they can hold it long term. So they're going to start shifting a little bit. This guy's going to airlift from the Aleutian Islands, and actually we're going to take him also down to South Vietnam, especially since these guys didn't in Cambodia chose not to join forces with us. Then we're going to swing all the way back around here, and the 2 early gen fighters that are in Aleutian Islands are going to shift up here to Alaska. debating whether to move that field artillery or not up there as well, just to completely stack it. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? It's a test. Okay, the field artillery will also shift up here. That's going to be a lot of first strike if the U.S. does pull the trigger. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all I want to do from a non-combat standpoint. So let's place units. And we're in Alaska, so let's start here. We're going to put 2 more early gen MBTs here. That has a lot of, early gen fighters. That has a lot of early gen fighters. At the minor airbase, we're going to put a SAM. And we're going to put with the advisor, the next gen MBT. All right. Then let's shift you here to Vladivostok, where in port we will build a destroyer with our fleet. And while I'm there, the amphibious assault ship will be repaired and restored to the fleet, which will remain in port. And then in Vladivostok, we're also building 3 airborne infantry at the major army base there. So I'll just move those over to the Vladivostok. Actually, no, I'll just leave them there so I can see them. 3 airborne infantry. And then let's shift you down to South Vietnam, where we have a substantial air wing already, so we'll move those out of the way. We have the airlifted in light infantry. We will add a paramilitary for defense, and then we will add another mech, and we will add another field artillery. And then you can see here on the map, the minor shipyard will be completed, giving us a very nice minor shipyard here. And we will replicate that on the blow-up box. Very nice new minor shipyard there in South Vietnam. All right, let's collect income. Okay, so I look at the map and I see we're at a base income of 19. So we grab a 10. So there's 10, 15, 19. And then I'm going to move my battle stars over here so we don't forget to do those. So we did earn a few. Possession of any Chinese home country land zone other than northern, central, or southern Manchuria or Burma. So we don't control Burma. We control western Xinjiang. And I believe that's it. So that's one more. I believe that takes us to 20. Yep. So there's 20. Far Aleutian, or Southeast Alaska, +1 each. So that's 3 more. That'll take us to 23. No enemy naval units in P3, P4, P8, or P9. Well, the sub on silent running does not count, so that'll be 4 more. So that takes us to, let me chip this out. It's 25, 27. No hits on the oil tanker. I have Northern Manchuria. That's 2 more. That's 29. And I have Alaska. That's 3 more. That is 32. Okay, and then I get global support. We will just roll that right on the table. Of course, it rolls off. It's a 2. That's the lowest possible. So that's 3 more. So that is 35 IPP for next turn. I believe that's about 4 or 5 less than this turn. So then for battle stars, I did take North Vietnam. That's 1. I did get surgical strike. I killed 3 or more units, so I believe that's 1. That's 2. I did kill an enemy sub defending alone. That's 3. And I think that's it. All right, so 35 IPP, 3 battle stars for the Soviets. We will hand it off to Pacific Command for their turn 8. Take care.